If
Okay.
he can speak in English,
Hmm.
everyone can.
When you are at a certain age, you think that I should start from my age.
So, hello, Gaurav.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine too. Thanks for asking. So let's begin the session.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Would you like to tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So basically, my name is Surbhi Goyal. And
Hmm.
talking about my place, I'm originally from Mandi Gobinder. It is known for its iron and steel industries, Punjab.
Right.
And after
Hmm.
marriage, I'm settled in Panchkula, or you can say Chandigarh. Both are neighbors.
Hmm.
And I did
All
my
right.
Master's of Arts in English Literature and Bachelor's
Hmm.
of Education. And I started my career as an assistant professor of business communication skills. I also worked in school as an English teacher. And later I worked as a spoken English and personality development trainer. I have, I have performed various roles in my profession, and I really love
Hmm.
that. I'm proud of that. And now also I offer group classes like spoken English and PD classes to students
Hmm.
of all age groups. Besides, I'm also a tutor at Englishyaari. And
Hmm.
also I have a small channel, Easy Learning with Surbhi. Yeah, that's all about me.
Great. Everything is associated with this language, and you are quite a familiar face. A lot of people know you through Englishyaari.
I don't know that. I'm not that
Yeah, I
old
know
and
that because I
that
have seen many of your videos.
really, but I haven't seen mine. I have just seen 4 or 5 YouTubers. They have uploaded my
Uh,
video. That's it.
yeah, might be I've seen only those people because I'm pretty much new in this. Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that nowadays a lot of people are uploading videos of conversation.
Yeah.
So I have gone through some of the videos where I saw you talking to those people.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm saying that you are quite a familiar face on
Okay,
YouTube.
that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. And please,
Yeah.
now I would love to know about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Gaurav, as you already know. So I have been an English trainer, also spoken English trainer. I have been teaching English for almost 14 years. I'm
Mhm.
running my own institute. I love playing cricket and watching web series, so that's all about me.
Well, that is something common in us because I love watching web series.
Yes,
I'm fond of cinema.
yes. So as you said that you have been a teacher for a very long time. You have various posts in different kind of institutions. You have been a teacher in a school also, and now you are giving some personal classes. So where do you want to see yourself in coming years?
I just want to be a recognized teacher. I want people to know me more because I remember that if like I want to tell here about my journey that how actually I came
Mhm,
into YouTube line. So basically I was teaching at institute as a spoken English trainer. So I was
mhm,
taking morning batches. So one day, a student walked in. So he was in the evening batch, but
mhm,
coincidentally, that day when I was taking morning batches, he came in and he joined my class. And 2 or 3 classes he took. And at that time, he told me that, ma'am, you shouldn't be here. You better be on YouTube. And I strongly believe that you should reach more and more people, let people know that there is a
mhm,
woman named Surbhi Goyal and she teaches quite well. So he appreciated my work and he's the one. He helped me start my channel. He edited my first video.
mhm,
So all thanks to him. Besides, my mother also motivated me to start my channel. So when she tried
mhm,
to plant this thought in my head, I laughed because I counted myself in viewers, but not as a creator. So yeah,
mhm,
that's how I started my journey. And I want to see myself as a recognized teacher, you can say. I want people to know that English is not that tough language as they feel. And also, they must understand that it's not just English, they should be well in communication skills too. Because there is
mhm,
no use of language if you can't communicate your ideas properly and clearly. So, effective communication is the key. So, if they want to have mastery over English language, they must be good communicators too. So, that's why I'm good at all these. Like I told you, I started my career as
Mhm.
an assistant professor of business communication skills.
Great.
So that's what I feel now. And I want my channel to grow. I want more and more people to watch me. Yeah,
Mhm.
as of now, only this.
So, as you are already a teacher, a very well-known teacher, so what kind of challenges as a teacher you face when you come across a student, or like because most of the students come from different walks of life and sometimes they have different levels. So, how do you incorporate with that?
First of all, I'm not a well known teacher. Let me clear
Oh.
that. I'm still on this journey. And yeah, talking about my students, I haven't faced that many challenges because you see, teaching is something that I love. For me,
Mhm.
teaching is is a mode with the help of which I can interact with students. So I love
Mhm.
my work. And secondly, challenge is for about those beginners, like
Mhm.
students who are not even able to build one sentence in English. So those kind of students are a bit challenging for me. But also, I love teaching those students because I tell you,
Mhm.
who are dedicated students and who start from scratch. They
Mhm.
are very dedicated. They really want to learn. They're quite desperate. So they are very receptive also. So whenever I guide them, whenever I give them any tips, so they follow that. And yeah, so they are challenging, but they are good challenges for me. It helps me work harder towards my teaching. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I love.
The way I see it, because nowadays people are pretty much into using mobile phones. So
Hmm.
earlier, conventional methods were used, but now teachers have to adapt to technology and different things which are available in the market because nowadays pretty much everything is online. So how do you see the shift from conventional teaching to online teaching now?
See, what I feel the difference is that from in online teaching we can connect with number of students
Mhm.
from different states, different countries. So that's the best part of online
Mhm.
classes. But if you talk about the method, so I feel that I use different methods for my other or like offline classes, physical classes, and the other ways in online. For example, I really emphasize on reading. So in online classes, I make sure I make my students read some stories. So obviously, I have to share my screen. I have to
Mhm.
show them some stories, and they read stories. And talking about my offline classes, sometimes I play videos on my smart screen, on my smart
Mhm.
TV. So they watch some English videos, some stories, and then I
Mhm.
ask them to summarize the story, and sometimes we do some picture composition, so different ways we use. But yes, I can say that all these new methods like modern teaching, of course, is
Mhm.
is best now, I can say, because we have so many different ways to teach our students. We have very interesting resources
Mhm.
with the help of which they can learn. So actually I like that modern teaching now.
Yeah, but which one do you find more convenient one? I know because you are a teacher, you love teaching. So whether it is online or offline, but if we were to choose one, the most convenient one, which one would you pick and why?
Honestly speaking, I can't pick any. For me, both are, I can, students are my priority. Okay, so
Mhm.
students are the main, like they are main people, so it depends on them. And there is no difference for me between online and offline. Online is that you're connecting virtually, and offline
Mhm.
they are quite there, present there. But yes, all I can say, for example, if I ask you which one is better, watching cricket on TV or watching cricket live, so
Uh,
I'm sure you will pick live, right? So that is
yes.
the advantage that, when you see students in front of you, you can, the
Mhm.
kind of interaction you have. So yeah, there
Mhm.
is this different. But otherwise, in online teaching, I use some kind of methods which are quite engaging, and I make sure that my students enjoy learning. It shouldn't be boring for them. Yeah, that's what I do.
So what about your journey like in Englishyaari? So how has your experience been so far?
Experience is great. And talking about Englishyaari, I just joined in the month of January. I started on 2nd
Okay.
January.
You have
Yeah.
recently started.
Yes, yes. Actually, 2 years ago, so the
Hmm.
founder of Englishyaari, he approached me. He connected with me through LinkedIn. So when they offered that work, at that time I was a bit busy. I did not have that much
Hmm.
time, so I could not pick up that job. But now I had some time. So this time I approached them, and that's how we
Okay.
connected. And I started working. So, like I said, I love my work and I love interacting with different people from different walks of life. I love
Hmm.
to know their culture and their problems, and the kind of thought process they have while interacting, the fears, the insecurities, and the, what I can say, the mindset for the English language.
Hmm.
So whenever I talk with them, I feel good and I feel sad too, because we have created a kind of thought process for English language. For many learners, English
Hmm.
language is a status symbol. So the thing,
Yes.
if I talk about teenage and young students, so I remember that there was a student in my class, in my offline class. So she started crying because she
Okay.
felt that, she told me that she felt isolated because her
Hmm.
friends can talk in English quite well, but she can't. So she feel inferior. So that way, I feel sad that for people, English is something else. But please understand that it is a language to communicate, like Hindi
But
language. Or
nowadays, like a lot of people do this thing, they equate English with knowledge. They think that if you are able to speak English, it means you are very knowledgeable, your background is pretty much different.
you're quite
So
educated.
then,
Yeah, I know that.
yes. So this is something that is associated with this language. So how do you see it?
See, like I just said that English language is a mode. It is a source to communicate with others. It is a medium. Please take it that only. But don't relate it with your status symbol, or don't think that if we know English language, we are more educated. Like, let's talk about celebrities, film personalities. They don't do their schooling well, and yet they are very good at English. I was saying, like, the thinking for English language. So I was saying that,
Hmm.
like, let's have a look at personalities, TV celebrities. They
Hmm.
hardly do their schooling, okay, and yet they are very fluent in
Hmm.
English. So let's take example,
Yes.
and let's understand that it's absolutely fine. This is a language like any other language. With some practice, with some hard work, you can learn it. And I will say, don't learn it, practice it.
Hmm.
Practice it in your speech every day, or writing. For example, if someone is not good at speaking, for starters, they can start writing
Hmm.
in English. That's what I would do in my childhood. I was an introvert child, so sometimes I used to write. I had my small notebook, and I used to write my thoughts in English. I made sure I wrote down in English, and in somewhere, if I could not translate my sentence in English, so I would write that in Hindi only, and later on I would ask my teacher or my friends, if they could help me translate the same in English language. So that's how I would do. But otherwise, I come from a Punjabi family. Hello? Gaurav, your video is stuck again. I can't see you. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Where was
So when did you decide to, yeah, you were talking about celebrities and all. So when did you decide to become a teacher?
I think, see, I never thought in my mind, I never thought in my childhood that I wanted to be a teacher, but I still remember I used to
Mhm.
play teacher student alone by myself in a room.
All
So
right.
so it's quite funny. So, like, children imitate their teachers. Okay.
Yes.
So they
Yes. Yes.
observe them. So it's the same thing I would do. So I was in, I think, third or fourth grade. So I used to sit on a chair and took my notebooks and wear dupatta around my neck and assume I'm a teacher checking notebooks. But actually, it was after my graduation. So while I was doing my graduation, I was doing Bachelor of Arts in English. So,
Hmm.
Bachelor of Arts, sorry, but the major subject was English. So, at that time, I realized that I have curiosity for English language, writers, and
Mhm.
basically grammar. I love grammar since my childhood.
Mhm.
So after that, I decided to go for Master of Arts in English. I was confused between music and English because music is also it's kind of
Mhm.
my passion, but I opted for English, and that's how I started. So during that
And
time, I
nowadays there is a trend in YouTube. A lot of YouTubers and the teachers, those who are so-called teachers, they say that grammar is not important. You can learn English because we did it. We have been speaking like this. We did not study anything called grammar, but still we are able to speak. So what do you want to say? Do you, as you said, that grammar is something that you always paid heed to. So what do you want to say on that?
tell me one thing here. Tell me one thing today. If you want to start learning any language, example Spanish,
Mhm.
you do.
Yes.
What would you do? You may learn first simple basic sentences.
Yeah,
Hello,
the
hi,
fundamentals. Yes.
how are you? Basic sentences. And
Yes.
then later you will understand the sentence structure.
Hmm.
How to build a sentence. And what helps you do that? Grammar. So let me
Yes.
tell you that grammar and vocabulary are the foundation of any language. But yes, talking about grammar, there are different ways to understand grammar. So
Hmm.
students are mostly scared of tenses. Ma'am, tenses
Yes.
nahi aate. Now we have to go through the
Yeah,
same.
it gives
We
them
don't
nightmare
understand.
most of the time.
Yeah, we don't understand the rule, subject, verb. So what I say, you know, take a different approach towards grammar. Not
Mhm.
necessarily you have to learn the rule. Like for example, if I talk about my teaching pattern, so if I pick the topic tenses, I don't focus on the quantity that today I have to finish present tense completely. No. If I start teaching present continuous tense, for example, so
Mhm.
I make sentences first and then I tell the rules. Okay, so this is the rule. And then we start speaking more on that. We start making more sentences. Like, for example, I ask my student, okay, what do you see around you? Start making sentences. What are you doing right now? What am I doing? Speak up. What are you doing
Mhm.
nowadays? So, like that, they understand continuous tense. But for those people who don't have that much time, they don't have to pick up grammar books. So I can say they should read something every day. Reading has helped me a lot. Okay, even in my
But
grammar
for
book.
reading, sorry to cut you in short, but for reading, they should have at least basic knowledge of grammar so that they can understand those complex sentences or some other sentence. They are able to distinguish between whether they are reading something related to present or past. Because sometimes the grammar rules, when they are not familiar with them, so they tend to think differently.
See, if I talk, like, look at my child. She is around 5 years old
Mhm.
and she has poems, okay, and she reads that. She has small stories, she narrates that. She doesn't know what is present tense, what is past tense. In Hindi,
Mhm.
do we know what is present and past tense? We just start talking, right? So what I say that you don't have to pick grammar books because if learners do that, they may get bored and they may
Mhm.
give up later on. So they can pick up any book, like they can start with children's stories. Let me tell you, children's
Mhm.
stories, moral stories.
Yes.
I personally love that. You read
Even I suggest that to my student. There is a book called Champak. Very small book. It has
I
beautiful stories.
support, but there is I have few children's books which are based on
Mhm.
moral stories, and these are very short
Yes.
stories. One
Yes.
page.
Yes.
But I love reading them because you see, we are able to understand basic sentences. If your
Yes.
viewers are listening to us, that
Mhm.
means they understand English. That's why they are listening.
Yes. Yes.
So it's basic English. Everyone can understand. Because we are surrounded with English. We may receive
But what about
messages.
those people, those who have just started learning English and at that particular age where they are 20 or 25 or 30? So then it becomes difficult because when you, as you talked about your child, so she has been in that kind of surrounding or the upbringing is where people are like you, especially you speak English and other people are also speaking in English. But what about the people, those who are from the remote areas where English is not something that is like they hear on the daily basis? So when they call me and when they ask me a question like this, whenever we read something, we are not able to understand. So then it becomes a very different thing for them.
Are they talking about basic reading?
Yes.
Okay, like short sentences. They're not able to make short sentences, you mean?
No, when they read something, I don't know whether they read something basic or because when you are at a certain age, you think that I should start from my age.
Now
Like I should not start
that's
from. Yeah, that's the problem. I know that.
yeah, yeah, that's a problem. You should not start with the books that has some advanced English. Like for
Mhm.
example, if I like example, I love self-help books. Okay, like
Yes.
we have very common ones like Ikigai or Think and Grow Rich or Atomic Habits. Like if
Atomic
I
Habits.
like these books, doesn't mean you also like the same. Maybe you like
Yes.
fiction. Like I write romantic stories too. So whatever people like, they should read that. They should not pick up the book for the sake of
Mhm.
knowledge. Please read whatever you come across. Read posts on Facebook. There are many relatives. So they post something on Facebook. Read those posts in English. Go to
Yes.
Instagram. Subscribe to these very, I don't I remember the name, but just type short stories and you will come across many accounts. They upload short stories on pages, poems,
Mhm.
so they can read whatever they want. And you're telling me that they are not able to build sentence. So let me tell you, people are able to understand the very basic sentences. Even if
Mhm.
you are able to comprehend the paragraph, if you're able to comprehend like 60-70%, you're good to go. You can
Yes.
understand. And I remember I came across a pre-beginner. She was a pre-beginner. She could just speak her name. My name is, I am a homemaker.
Okay.
That's it. So what I did with her, I gave her few nouns
Mhm.
and few you know like things. I told her, okay, I taught her this, that, it, I,
Yes.
we. Okay. And
Mhm.
then I gave her one word, for example, table. And then I gave this verb is, mr. So she started making, okay, this is a table. This is my table.
Mhm.
Table is black in color. So they can start
Mhm.
building short sentences, and gradually, when they start building, they get familiar with this language. They can start building more sentences. That's the technique, I can say.
Yeah, that's great. And I hope the people, those who are going to watch this video, they would definitely get benefit out of it and they would learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
And everybody can relate with that, whether that person is a beginner or at an intermediate level. So
See, I
I
tell
think
you,
that is
my
going to be useful.
father is in his
Mhm.
late 60s, okay?
Okay.
So he studied in Punjab board school. If
Okay.
he can speak in English,
Hmm.
everyone can. So he picked up that book, Speaking Rapidics, if you know. That's a very
Yeah, yeah,
basic.
I know that basic
Yeah.
book.
So he just started with the beginning, and I asked him that, Papa, why do you want to learn English? It's absolutely fine. So he said, I want to talk in English with my grandchildren. So I
Mm.
want to learn. He started building basic sentences. So if a man in his late 60s who studied from Punjab board school, if he can
Mhm.
learn, everyone can learn. My mother studied in Hindi medium school, but she speaks English. Like a little bit English she can speak. So yeah, so everyone can do that too when we have number of resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's nice talking to you. The time is almost, it's like half an hour. I
Yeah.
thought it is only 5 minutes, so we simply get
Yeah.
engrossed into talking
It
to each
was
other.
a nice conversation.
So
Yeah.
these tips and tricks would definitely benefit many people.
Yes, it will. It will. Yeah.
And
So
it's
thank
lovely talking to you.
likewise. I enjoy talking to you and I hope I am able to help your viewers, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah.
talking to me. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.